I am fresh.
How fresh?
Absolutely. Pretty fresh. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull up like IMDb or something just so I can have it.
Oh, I done started recording.
That's okay. They can know
Awesome.
this. It's not a
Yeah.
secret.
Okay.
So we didn't we generally watch unheard of movies. You know, we generally
Mhm.
I feel like part of our mission is to bring weird stuff to people.
Yeah.
Hey, you're a normal person that watches normal movies. Here's Tokyo Gore Police. Here's Wicked World. Watch that. But
Mhm.
today we watched a '90s action classic.
Yeah, from '93.
One that
1993. Yeah.
one that most people have seen, and I actually almost picked this like a couple months ago because I knew Brian hadn't seen it.
Yeah. So yeah, this what we're talking about Demolition Man
How
here.
have you never seen this before until now?
I don't
Yeah.
know. It just kind of
I
it
thought
wasn't
Stallone
there.
was your dude.
Well,
Such a
Over
huge
the
Stallone
Top
fan.
is my movie.
Well, you love Rambo as well.
Rambo's the shit.
Yeah.
Rambo, yeah, those movies are great. I couldn't claim like hardcore Sylvester Stallone status, I don't think, unless it's for those two movies. I could quote Over the Top to you. You know what I mean? You guys want to do it?
Beginning
We
to
could do
end, the
that.
entire movie.
Beginning
Yes.
to fucking end, including the soundtrack.
You thought you were here for a review of Demolition Man. No, it's a one-man show of Over the Top.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, this was the first time watch. I'm kind of glad that it was because I have absolutely no ties to it. You know what I mean? I have no pull on it.
You don't have a childhood nostalgia, or
Yeah, I'm not biased in any way.
Yeah.
And do you care if I go ahead and give like kind of my first thoughts on it?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So when I was watching it at first, and I'm just gonna be brutally honest here. So at first I was like, oh man, this is kind of dumb. And then like it really started getting into like some actiony shit, and I was like, man, I miss scenes like this, you know? And then once you kind of get the tone of the movie and everything, I was like, okay. And to me, it was sort of like it makes you get that feeling that you did watching mid '90s movie. Because honestly, like those '90s action movies, they're a thing all of their own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like no other action movie from any other era hits the same as like a '90s action movie. So you get that feeling of kind of nostalgia from it, and I thought like, you don't see that kind of action anymore, like at all, period. So I feel like, nowadays when action movies are made, they either try to be like so realistic that it's boring, or they try to be so stupid that it can be boring or just not entertaining at all. And I feel like this one's sort of like, it's just right on that line. I don't want to call it perfection, but I feel like it's right on that line of like, it's silly, it's got its awesome action moments, and yeah, I mean, overall, go ahead.
I would call it an action comedy, honestly.
Yeah,
Definitely. There's enough comedy in it and you're talking about that '90s feeling. I mean, so everybody's seen this movie. We're not going to run through the whole plot of it. Everybody knows, but Sandra Bullock's character, Lenina Huxley, is obsessed with the '90s.
I was glad to see.
And there's she's so fucking cute in this movie.
When I was a wee lad,
Yeah. Sandra Bullock in this movie does it for me, definitely. But but there's that scene where like after the Taco Bell scene, when he sees the guys coming to steal the food, he runs out there and he kicks ass, and everybody's on the side like cheering, and she runs up to him and she's like, you even said that one thing right before you did she's like, you did the one-liner before you knocked that guy out. It was so amazing. And it's basically it's self-referential. They're definitely looking at '90s movies and going, yeah, this is what we do, and yeah, it's awesome. Like we love it.
No, very well said. Absolutely, Patrick. Was this one that you were familiar? Like, I know you'd seen it, but...
Yeah, I only had watched it when I was a kid, like one time. And then when I went back to watch it again, I kept thinking to myself, I was like, this movie was prophesizing the future.
Oh yeah.
It is very much current in what's going on. You know, it's so much social satire,
Yeah.
and like so much of it is like I know a lot of people say this, like what you know, like the real popular one, everyone was referencing Idiocracy. You know, like when things started going the way that they are.
Oh yeah.
And with that one, I was like, you know, I mean, it's there, but that's a little bit of a push. But this one, as far as like what they're actually talking about, like, you know, no bad food, no language, no offending, no anything like that. And it's just like, oh wow, you know,
it's like it's like the safe space version of Idiocracy.
Yeah,
right.
It is.
And here's a quote. I watched it last night, and here's a quote that came to mind. This guy's name is G. Michael Hoff in the book Those Who Remain. The quote is, "Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times." And this movie, I feel like this movie kind of epitomizes that. Maybe this guy was watching Demolition Man when he was writing this book, and he was like, oh yeah, that's exactly that is this movie, because these people have become so soft, so ineffectual, that when this maniac who is released on society, they don't know what to do, and so they have to bring in Stallone, you know. And
so just because I mean, you know, I guess I can't be the only person who's never seen this. So just in case, it's like a really quick rundown. I think.
Sure. Yeah.
Right now. We've basically got, let's see, it starts off in 1996 Los Angeles, right?
Yes.
96. And we got Wesley Snipes, which I'm just gonna go ahead and get this out of the way. He fucking stole the movie. He is such a badass in this movie.
You know, and I have seen this movie many times, and I watched it last night, and I was like, he's Black Joker. He's basically he's the maniac. It's like he's like, no, I don't mean weepy Joker. I don't mean weepy sad Joker. I mean like joking, laughing madman kind of character, and it's like perfect.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny that you say that too, because there were some segments, especially towards the end, and I don't really necessarily mean with practical effect or with special effects, because I feel like when I say what I'm about to, you'll be like, oh, because of like the cold freeze thing. But some of this like reminded me tonally very much of like Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Oh yeah,
it really did. I was just like, oh.
Oh, the two worst Batman movies.
I can't help it though. Some of it, you know, okay, well, we'll get back on track here. So you know, Wesley Snipes, bad guy, Stallone, cop, referred to as the Demolition Man. He's after Wesley Snipes, and Wesley Snipes basically sets a trap. And Stallone, you know, gets him, but he's killed 30 to 40 people in the process. And they both get sent to this kind of futuristic prison where they're encapsulated in like a gel or water or something that then freezes them.
Yep.
And they're kept alive for what? It was like 76 years or something like that.
Yep.
Something right, like 70 something years. And then they get put, you know.
They get out early. Like that
it
was a lot earlier they get out.
It's one of my gripes. Yeah, it's one of my gripes with this movie is it is only like 40 years.
Yeah. They were supposed to be in there for like 70, and they're out in like 35 is what it is.
There's so many people acting like they're acting the way you would be if it
was
100 years.
You're right, actually.
Yeah.
What year was it, like 2040 something it said they got out?
Yeah, because one of his old cop buddies was still working as a police officer.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, hey, John.
Yeah, he was a rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they act like it feels like it's been a really long time when it actually hasn't. They're like, and they're calling him caveman and stuff. And I'm like, dude, you're old enough to remember those days. It's not like it wasn't 200 years ago. But anyway, that's a small gripe.
Yeah. No. That's a good one to point out. But yeah, I mean, basically, so they're out of prison now, long story short. And basically we've got a guy who's living underground, who is, I don't really want to say rallying troops or anything, but yeah, Dennis Leary, and he's kind of got these guys, and they're trying just to live a free life, you know, because the world now has changed over to a guy who is trying to like basically just
make it utopia.
Censor the world, and everything that you're doing is you know, health conscious and blah blah blah. You just don't have as much freedom.
Yeah, completely sanitized, safe society.
Right.
No,
So
no
what?
offense, no danger.
Right. So Wesley Snipes, he gets, he is basically, I guess, like, on parole, or or he's at his hearing to see if he's going to get out, basically, and he breaks out of prison. He's still a bad guy. Stallone gets thawed out. We find out that he did have a wife and daughter, and they left it. Now, this is a funny part. I laughed pretty hard at this part, actually. So when Stallone comes back and everything is we're sitting there in his chair, trying to figure out what movie set he's on. He um, he's asking about his wife, and he's like, and Sandra Bullock's like, oh, she passed away, and then he's like, I had a daughter, what happened to my fucking daughter, and she's like, oh, and I don't even think she tells him, right? Like, he gets interrupted.
Nobody knows what happens to the daughter.
No. What happens is during this conversation, the police chief says, "We didn't bring you here for a family reunion.
Yes,
We brought you here to take down the insane criminal Simon Phoenix."
Which that guy, he was the I don't know his name, and I'm not going to take the time to get on my phone about it. But he was the asshole doctor in Patch Adams.
Oh,
he's just always a dick. Now I'm sure he's been in other stuff, But anyway, so here's the part that I was going to say that I thought was really funny. So he's asking about his wife. He asks about his daughter. He gets interrupted by fucktard, and then he's all like, Sandra Bullock's character is like, something about Simon. What's his name?
Simon.
Simon Phoenix.
Yeah.
Simon Phoenix, and it's like he just totally forgets about his family.
He's like, what?
You know what I mean? It's like,
it
was just funny.
It's all he dreamt about for 40 years was Simon Phoenix.
Yeah, he's got to put
Whoa.
in.
Whoa.
There's a scene later where they're in the car and Sandra Bullock's character offers. Did I do that thing again?
Yeah, you cut out.
Here?
You're back now.
I'm good. Okay, so there is a scene later where they're in the car and Sandra Bullock brings up his daughter and is like, "Well, I can find her for you," and he's just like, "No, I don't want to know right now."
Oh yeah,
but
that's right.
There is, yeah, and I did read. When I was doing some reading on this, apparently there was at least one cut scene that did involve his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like the movie's already, huh?
I said it's probably best that they cut it. If they were just going to be like a one quick scene and done, it's probably best that it's just not even answered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to keep the movie going, and it's already an hour and 50 minutes.
I was kind of hoping it would be like a Star Wars Episode 4 type thing, that Sandra Bullock was his daughter, and like he found out after they had
after
the VR.
He fucks her.
After he fucks her in the VR.
Hey. So speaking of
inspiration for old boy.
So speaking of fucking daughters, okay, so I didn't know that there's an Arrow set of the what do they refer to that? The Violence trilogy. So you got Old Boy, and then there's two other movies.
Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance.
Oh yeah, and then there's one more, and there's a box set of those.
I would buy that.
I just found it yesterday. There's a Region B locked set that is way cheaper, but it is Region B that it's like $30, and then there's a Region A version of it that looks way fucking cooler. Anyway, you guys should look that up.
Okay.
Oh god, what were we talking about? Yeah, the daughter. So.
Well,
sorry, I lost
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah,
I want to. I want to go into something here.
Sure.
This movie has one of my all-time favorite speeches in any movie ever.
Pray tell.
This is Dennis Leary's character, Edgar Friendly. When they meet him down below, and he's talking about his sort of philosophy, and I'm going to try to read this as best as I'll do my best Dennis Leary as I can. I mean, I'm not actually gonna. I'm just gonna try to try to do it the way he did it. So, yeah.
You need some dirt.
Yeah. I need a rat burger. I need a rat burger and a goat
yeah.
keys.
I love that.
If I could. All right, here we go. See, according to Cocteau's plan, I'm the enemy. Because I like to think. I like to read. I'm into freedom of speech and freedom of choice. I'm the kind of guy who wants to sit in a greasy spoon and wonder, gee, should I have the T-bone steak or the jumbo rack of barbecue ribs with the side order of gravy fries? I want high cholesterol. I want to eat bacon and butter and buckets of cheese, okay? I want to smoke a Cuban cigar the size of Cincinnati in a non-smoking section. I want to run through the streets naked with green jello all over my body reading Playboy magazine. Why? Because I suddenly might feel the need to. Okay, pal? I've seen the future. You know what it is? It's a 47-year-old virgin sitting around in his beige pajamas drinking a banana broccoli shake singing, I'm an Oscar Mayer wiener. You want to live on top? You got to go live Cocteau's way. What he wants, when he wants, how he wants. Your other choice, come down here, maybe starve to death.
Yeah. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done, my friend. Yeah, no, that was a really good part. And it's fair to mention that too right now too, because like, you know, the undertone of that. I'm not saying that like you necessarily feel like this kind of. At least I didn't get like any. What's the word I'm looking for? Like I didn't get any kind of like sense of like urgency for anyone to fix the world or anything off this. But I do think it's fair enough to point out that the undertone of it and stuff is very. You know, like Fahrenheit 451 and you know 1984 and stuff like that. It's totally in there. The story is incredible. I'm a sucker for anything like that. Any kind of like mind control. Then oh my god, like Equilibrium. Have you guys ever watched Equilibrium?
I think I have.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Oh my god, that movie. Woo! Like everybody always talks about Matrix and like how fucking badass that movie is. Mm-hmm. And I'm not taking away from that. I mean, I'm not the hugest fan, but Equilibrium is like the fucking shit. And it's the same kind of premise, you know what I mean? Like we can't think for ourselves. We can't have books. We can't do this and blah blah blah. And Christian Bale's in it, and he's like, you know, take it back, you know, and all that shit.
Gun is that's the one with the gun fu, right?
Yeah. You'd have a lot of Yeah. So fucking cool though. I love it.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
But no, I mean, I think it's really neat to have like a movie like that, you know, with a good message like that, and to have it, you know, sprinkled with all this humor and stuff. I can't really think of many more that like. I'm not saying they're not there. I'm just saying like off the top of my head, I can't really think of any movies that talk about mind control that have a tremendous amount of humor in them.
Oh, it's so goofy. It's such a goofy movie. It's just it's a fun movie. And you know, it's got constant jokes throughout. And I pulled out one of my favorite moments, like Sandra Bullock's character, she's constantly trying to do these like 90s idioms, like she's trying to say and at one point,
you licked his ass.
She says to John Smartin, she goes, he's finally matched his meat. You really licked his ass. He's like, that's met his match and kicked his ass.
I like her. It's the end of the hello, Nathan and Patrick.
Hey.
It's the end of the sentences there that get me with what you're doing. Hey. You know, he speaking of over the top though, there's a few times that he said to her, he's like, I'm really impressed. And every single time I thought about him with Michael and Over the Top.
Yeah.
You know, Mike, I'm really impressed. I really am. You're my boy, you know, all that shit. So I'm imagining, you know, that, you know, he was just taking things from Over the Top, you know, he's applied it to his career since.
Absolutely.
You know?
I mean, it always comes back to Over the Top somehow, right?
I wonder if that's what he was saying. Nathan, do you remember telling us a long time ago that he was like banging that dude's 16-year-old girlfriend while that movie was being made?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. It was him and his bodyguard.
It was an allegation.
Yeah.
There is an allegation that him and his bodyguard banged this 16-year-old. Yeah.
I wonder what happened. You know, like he slid him money and they took it. And he's like, I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. I like to believe it's not true though, man.
Oh yeah, of course you would like to believe your hero's not raping teenagers, but yeah,
it happens.
So one of my favorite things in this movie is how and Nathan, I can't remember if you actually already said this part, but there's a few chances they take it like name dropping other movies and stuff like that.
Oh
and
I was actually going to bring that up. Yeah.
So were you going to talk about the Schwarzenegger part? I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, this is actually something that has gone back and forth between Schwarzenegger and Stallone. Yeah, because so they bring up. She mentioned Schwarzenegger was president at some point. They had the 61st Amendment, making it so somebody not born in the U.S. could be president.
Which is just another thing that adds to the craziness of how much of this that's going on is true. Just because
he became governor after this.
Governor. They did have a franchise war, which was Popeyes and Chick-fil-A over the chicken biscuits.
And the thing that it made me think of is there's a scene in Last Action Hero where the kid he's got Schwarzenegger with him. They go into the Blockbuster Video, and there's a standee that's Terminator 2, but it's got Stallone's face on it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and
I used to love that movie as a kid, but I don't remember.
It's a pretty fun movie. I think it gets a bad rap. It's pretty good, but because the whole thing is basically the kid has been sucked into a movie world. And so he's showing Schwarzenegger this thing with Stallone. He's like, "No, this is supposed to be you." And he's like, "What? That guy is great. This is his best movie."
That's awesome. I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, you're good.
No, I'm just saying that's happened a few times, and of course we have the Expendables. They finally ended up in the same movie, which was awesome. Or Expendables 2, I think.
So did you guys see where Bruce Campbell had announced that he's in the works of making a new horror movie that is going to be the horror
version of Expendables?
Yeah, like meaning like I guess that it's going to have like a ton of star power, like horror star power in the movie. Okay. At least that's the way I took it. That'd be really cool.
It could be cool if it doesn't go too far. Right, if it doesn't go too far into like scary movie territory, you know what I mean? Like spoof.
Why do people say that, Patrick?
What?
If it's done right.
Why? Because it has to be done right.
I think what he's
Nathan explained it.
I think what he's saying is there's a high chance that it won't be done right.
I get that.
Yeah. If you say if it's done right, if it's done right, then what you're saying is it probably won't be done right.
Right.
That's basically what. Yeah.
No, I get it. That was nice of you.
It is a good point.
No
it's like saying
it's one of the things like if it's done right, it's like, well, yeah, I mean, because I just want to botch it.
Well,
I'm going to fuck it up.
Of course, the only way it's going to be good is if it's done right. I mean, it's like saying, when you lose something, goddamn, it's always the last place you look, isn't it? It's like,
yeah, you're right.
Kind of thing.
You're right. This made me totally different kind of a movie. But this made me want to watch Broken Arrow.
Yeah.
You guys remember Broken Arrow?
What does that sound familiar?
It's Van
Christian
Damme.
Slater and no.
It's not Van Damme.
It's Christian Slater and fucking Travolta.
Okay.
Yeah. And to be honest, you know what? I say that like a cocky dick, like, oh, it's not Van Damme, you simpleton. But like all I can really remember
For some reason I guess I'm thinking of Hard Target. Sorry.
Okay.
Target.
all I can really remember, to knock myself down a peg here. All I can really remember is towards the end there's like a scene where I believe Travolta's driving a tank and he's like, woo! And like, I don't know, what a rush or something like that. It's fucking ridiculous. You okay? You looking for it? Do you have it?
No, but you're talking about movies in this vein.
Yeah,
kind of 90s action. Speaking of Van Damme, here's one I do want to do.
Oh, Cyborg.
Yeah. So I think more of these. We need to watch a few more of these kind of
I'm down.
old school action movies.
I've actually bought a few to do, and I just honestly kind of keep forgetting that I have them. Like I got Delta Force, Chuck Norris. That used to be one of my favorites when I was a kid. But I'm excited about rewatching it because I literally haven't seen it since I was a child, and I really don't remember much about it. All I remember is a fucking helicopter, and I think that's like every movie, Also, what was some other stuff I got? I got a couple more,
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to. We had talked about this movie kind of being prophetic, and I wanted to point to, obviously we've got the language thing, we've got cancel culture. People can't say certain
even
things.
The germs thing too.
Right. This is what I was going to bring up. There's a new Demolition Man has a new prediction that just came true about 3 months ago. That being this extreme germophobia with the doing this instead of high-fiving kind of thing, and not no touch sex. It's mind sex. It's mind meld sex.
Dude, yeah, you can't. I couldn't tell you how disappointed I was right there because I was like, all right.
No, I feel it too.
God damn, brother.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
There was a flash of tit in there, but it wasn't hers. You just know.
Nah. It was all right though. The uniform alone was okay. You know what I'm saying? It brought you back to those days where you gotta use the noggin. A little bit of. Yeah.
You can just look at Stallone's face while he's like coming on the inside.
He does make some of those glorious faces. Now I did. So some of the action sequences in this I thought were pretty cool. It's weird because I actually had kind of, and I know it's going to sound stupid, I just really don't watch a tremendous amount of action movies. You guys know that about me. Mm-hmm. So I forget sometimes about who all was really like encompassed in that scene. But there was something really cool about seeing, and once again, to drop the term nostalgic almost, you got Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone. And I like the technique that they used of like, up until this certain point, it's all been guns and stuff like that. And then it's like, we're going to give you a few minutes of like hand-on-hand combat. And I felt like a kid again where I was like, fuck yeah. Like you want to see these guys like just go at it because they're massive. And the strength there is incredible. God damn, I beat my dick so fucking hard. No, I love that whole ending sequence. I don't know if you guys want to ruin it or
yeah, we can talk about it.
But I did it as as much of a kind of like I was saying with the Batman sort of vibe that I was getting off some of it, and it mainly was just like Wesley Snipes is kind of like you were talking about with the laughter.
Yeah, he's like,
and then you've got like and you've got Sylvester Stallone like clamped in this thing, like twisted around, and it's like, God, dude, I couldn't help. I was waiting on Schwarzenegger, to step out and stuff, Mr. Freeze, and it just 100% had that vibe. I was kind of expecting like the camera to like do all this crazy shit, but I liked it, and of course. You've got the ending with the guy and the girl. He swoops down. He smooches on her. You know what I mean? And then camera pans up while, the police and everything clean up this disaster. They're I love you.
She's talking about, she wants more of those bodily fluids.
Yeah. Cute banter, scroll up to sky and credits. That's it, everyone. That's it.
Yeah.
But
I love it. I love it when he froze Simon Phoenix and then he fucking knocked his head off. And then his head flies down and shatters, and you see like the frozen blood like flying out of it. I thought that was awesome.
No, it was really cool.
Yeah. One of my favorites was like at the beginning was when they were looking at Sylvester Stallone's files when he was a cop, and he rescues that little girl that was that had ransom for $25,000. And the news reporter's like, you destroyed over $7 million worth of damage, or had $7 million worth of damage, and the ransom was $25,000. What do you have
to say? How do you justify that?
And the little girl's like, fuck off or something.
She's like, fuck you, lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once again, that's something that we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's really crazy. And I guess it's more applaudable to me. Like I feel like if something like that came out today, like it just wouldn't have the same effect. I would almost like, you know, probably call it like just like overkill or something like that. But like from it being that long ago,
Yeah.
and it's things, it's just I don't know. To me, it was just really uncanny. I was like, "God, this is crazy!" Like, just how much of this is going on. But you know,
Yeah, no. The other day, I was out in the backyard, and there's trampoline over here to the side. Well, you guys have seen
Yeah.
it. The only people that go on that trampoline are my mom and my nephew. So
and Jake.
you know, and Jake. So yeah, my nephew will drag my mom out there, and you know they're kind of bouncing around. He's like almost 6 years old, and he's like, oh shit, oh he's just like, oh shit. And I'm like, Mom, if I had said that when I was 6 years old, you would have slapped me across the face. She's like, oh, he gets away with way more than I would ever let you get away with. And it's like, yeah. It's just the times, you know. It's just things are different, you know.
Oh yeah. I don't want the entire conversation to be about that. I do think I guess I'm just kind of shocked because mostly when people tell me that, like, oh, it's gonna make you think, you know, and stuff. I never really see it to the limit that they do. But this, I was like, man, now this is what people need to watch and be like, things have changed.
Yeah.
No, I did. In talking about this has also kind of helped a little bit too. I mean, I don't know. I was so kind of on the fence, like I said, with like actually what kind of score I was going to give it. But I think talking about it has really helped. Number one, understand the intentional humor in it. I mean, it's hard to like, you can't mistake it for unintentional. But I didn't know. I didn't really know how I felt about the amount of humor at first with the story. But now that we're talking about it and stuff, I mean, it kind of makes it shine a little bit more than it did for me. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying this to close out the conversation. I mean, I am going to say though, I mean, it's pretty up there for me. I mean, I would actually dare to say 5 buckets for me. You just don't get them anymore. You just don't. And honestly, for that reason alone, I guess I would give it mad props. I never want to say that again. Don't ever let me say mad props again.
No, it fits perfectly.
Mad props.
Yeah, we're on YouTube now, man. You gotta say that.
Mad props.
Yeah, say, yo, it's your boys. What it be? What it do? So I did. So was Stallone alone? Like, was he the only Demolition Man, or was this something that other cops were as well? Or
No, he was called that because he would always
Patrick,
destroy everything.
What you got?
What? What are you doing?
He froze. Look at that smile. Oh, there he goes.
Did this internet cut out?
I see it trying to work.
Oh, okay. What were you about to say?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. What were you saying?
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. I was listening to you, and things went bad. So.
Yeah, just pretty much he would destroy buildings and stuff just to get us criminal. So that's why they would call him a demolition.
That's why they call it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just shit ended up getting wrecked. Wherever he went, stuff would be destroyed. So he kind of got that name. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Patrick, did you give your buckets?
No, I'm gonna give it a 5. Like, it was a great watch to watch as an adult now, and then just seeing how close this is to like times now. It's great, and it was fun to watch that. I still got to figure out how to use 3 seashells.
Yeah, you know, I think it's fair to say that like maybe part of the humor is realizing, you know, once again this is made in 1993.
Yeah.
So a lot of these observations, you know, and stuff are like speculations for the future and everything like that. It was just strictly humor. You know what I mean? To these people, they were probably thinking like, "Oh, God,
it was
so far out there." You know what I mean? That's why when people make those things today, I just don't really necessarily think it works that well. I think you have to be a little bit more artistic about your choices. To, you know, does that make sense? Like, some of this stuff's too on the nose, and it's just like,
They've admitted about the 3 clamshells that they just put that in there because they thought it was funny.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of curious as well. I was like, are we ever going to find this up? But I did order some on Amazon.
Nice.
Yeah, 2 sets of 3.
Mm.
Just because you never know what's going to happen the first time.
Save on toilet paper.
Yeah.
Nathan,
once again, prophetic. Yeah. No, this is I think one of the greatest action movies ever. It's also very funny. I've seen this movie many times. Like it's like nothing was a surprise in here watching it for me, but I was still laughing.
Yeah.
There's still so many parts in this that are just funny. It's so well written. The action, it's like the action's not like you watch something like John Wick. It's not like that. It's just that sort of
cheesy
basic
action.
in your face, hard hitting, flying with 2 guns kind of thing. It's, and then you've just got 2 muscle bound dudes just beating on each other. So the actions, it's just that old school kind of hard hitting stuff. And then it's just really funny. And it's got, it's what it's saying is still applicable to today, probably more than ever. The message in this movie, even though it's not like it's not preaching at you. It's just the state of this world that they happen to be living in. Mm-hmm. It definitely applies to today. So it still holds up. It's a great action movie.
Yeah. In my opinion, it's almost like, well, I'm just going to say this because the first word that comes to my mind, it's almost like it works really well because it's almost kind of cute, which sort of works with Stallone's, vibe, around all these other characters. You've got Sandra Bullock, who's so like, dare I say, kind of naive and stuff like that. And wants
she's
to
so cutesy in this movie.
Yeah, and him being like, I guess what I'm trying to say inevitably is it sort of gives you that feeling of like the whole like, woman falls for bad boy kind of a thing, which I don't really think we see much of that anymore either. You know what I mean? So I think it just works really well to have him, cursing like a sailor and saying these, like phrases and things like that. And I love the dynamic of those two. I just thought it was fantastic. I kind of wish that like we got more. I don't really feel like there's a tremendous amount of Wesley and Sylvester stuff really together going on. I kind of wish we had some more of that. But at the same time, like you said, we're rocking an hour and 56-minute runtime, and of that runtime, there's not really a whole lot. The only scene, and you guys might completely disagree with me on this, it's kind of an important one because it's the first time. I think it was the first time that we really sort of see that whole cursing thing come into play, where like Snipes he's in his orange shirt and his
when he's out in the city.
Overall. Yeah, and he's messing with that computer and shit. I thought that scene was just like a little long. I don't really know. It just, the music and stuff was so bizarre and it was so cartoony.
Like when he starts fighting, like there's like
when he starts
crashes.
fighting, when he starts fighting and all that stuff. And I was like, what in the world? Because of course, there are hints as well to me in this one that are kind of like Fifth Element sort of feeling and stuff. Well,
there's in that scene he beats up those cops, and then the police are watching on camera, and Rob Schneider's like, it's like, we're police officers, we're not trained to deal with this.
Yeah.
And when you started to say you wanted more of something,
he went away.
So you started to say you wanted more of something. I was thinking more Rob Schneider and more more Rob Schneider, more Stallone. Did I disappear again?
Well, you're back. You're back. I'm on your side.
More Rob Schneider, more Stallone, just like Judge Dredd. Like
Rob Schneider is a gem. I was so happy to see. And there's so many people in here that I recognize by their faces, and I just don't know them by name. There's a lot of fucking people in this.
Yeah. Would you guys think this is a prequel to Judge Dredd?
I'm not one to ask on that. Okay. That would be
same universe.
Same universe. It's just him. He just evolves into Judge Dredd.
Is this something people have theorized?
I don't know. We gotta look this up.
Now you're cutting out, Patrick.
I'm cut now. You're cut now.
I hear you now.
Yeah. Nathan.
Glad to see it's not just me with the internet.
It's this weather.
It's just this weather, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
Patrick.
What?
Patrick.
What?
Is that a theory people have floated that Demolition Man and Judge Dredd are in the same universe?
I just thought about it, but I think Judge Dredd was just originally a comic.
Yeah, it was a comic. Yeah.
Well, let's see.
But yeah, all that to say, I definitely, obviously, I give this movie a 5 buckets as well. It's a classic. Everybody needs to see this movie. So much fun, good action, very funny, great actors. I was on IMDb and it was like at a 6.8 out of 10. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people, man?
Oh,
really?
There is a Reddit thread. It's a fan theory that Demolition Man is the prequel to Judge Dredd. They share the same themes and plot, and neither movie makes sense without the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, neither one makes sense without the other? I
Yeah.
don't know
So
about
they
that.
don't make sense until you watch Judge Dredd. Then Demolition Man will make sense.
I don't know what kind of idiot would have that thought. But
That was me. I wrote that article.
As soon as you watch this movie, you got on Reddit, and I was like,
I mean, this is a pretty big. Well, it's like a couple of paragraphs long. Yeah.
So, what were, if you were to name a
What?
Sorry, Lucy. If you were to name your favorite action movie, I'm not going to confine this to the 90s because we're all 80s kids, you know.
Yeah.
What would your favorite as a kid be? What was your
as a kid?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Growing up, what was your favorite action movie?
Oh man. My sister and I used to watch Terminator 2 on repeat.
As you
Now
should.
it was the TV edit of Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we had movies like that we had on VHS that we would just we had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1, Terminator 2.
Yeah.
And we would just watch it, rewind, and then just watch it again.
Watch it again. Isn't that cool when you're a kid? It's like it doesn't fucking matter. You watch the same shit, man.
Yeah.
Could do that.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Yeah, I would watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1 and 2, Terminator, Last Action Hero, and Suburban Commando like all the time as a kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Suburban Commando.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine were always
Oh, and Three Ninjas.
Yeah.
Three Ninjas.
See, I know. Here it goes again.
Surf Ninjas.
You know, last time I watched that, when I was a kid, I loved it, and I watched it as an adult, and I was just like, "Oh man!"
It's just for nostalgia.
The secondhand embarrassment that I got. I don't know what I really did. I loved Speed when I was a kid. That was a cool one.
Speed's great.
Another Sandra Bullock one.
Was that the one where it's like they can't go under 45 miles per hour on the bus?
55.
Unless you're talking about the second one, and then it's a fucking boat.
Yeah, second one doesn't have to be on it. Fuck the second one.
Boat can't stop.
Yeah, the original Speed's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it is. That's a great one. We should watch that one. That'd be fun.
I would love to watch Speed. I would love to watch Point Break.
The original Point Break.
The original Point Break is a goddamn classic. I would put that on my favorites as far as action movies go.
Dead Presidents.
Oh,
Remember that shit?
remember Pelican Brief?
Hey, it's kind of funny you said that. So I just bought Clear and Present Danger and Oh fuck! What was the other one? I can't remember what it was. They had these Harrison Ford, like early '90s action movies.
The Fugitive, man.
Oh
Yeah, the
yeah.
Fugitive. Yes, I fucking love the
It
Fugitive.
wasn't me. It was the one-armed man. Fucking Jim Carrey doing that.
That fucking that scene where like I can't remember exactly how it runs in the Fugitive, but like we kind of see like what happened with the wife, where she's getting beat down and all this shit is like one of those kind of things. That's fucking freaky, dude. When I was a kid, I was like, God damn, he's beating her. It's sad. But, I can't remember the other movie that I got, but I just thought that was kind of funny. He said Pelican Brief because it was things like that. The Fugitive, the Client, I think was probably my favorite.
I don't know if I've seen The Client.
Oh man, you got what's his fucking nuts, man?
You got Carl Malone's in it.
In 1994, you got Brad Renfro.
Brad Renfro. I don't know why I couldn't remember his name.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Susan Sarandon.
Susan Sarandon. Yep.
Yeah.
That's an awesome movie. Tommy Lee Jones is the shit too, man. I love Tommy.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Do you
man.
remember that one that he was in? That was it was very much like The Fugitive. Shit, I can't remember the goddamn name of it either. I'll have to look it up.
Is that the
But there's one
where he's with the cheerleaders? And he's watching
U.S.
the cheerleaders.
Marshals. Is that the name of a movie? U.S. Marshals.
Yes,
that sounds like the name of a movie.
Yeah, U.S. Marshals.
He like dresses up like a chicken and crosses the street at some point, like he's undercover.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking very grumpy as he does it. Yeah.
Yeah, give us more of those, Hollywood. You know what I mean? Where are those movies? The last action movie that I seen a preview for that I actually wanted to go out and see was this newest Vin Diesel flick.
Oh, that that red one.
What did you say it is?
The one where he's like red and he just like regenerates.
Yeah, I want to see it because Rachel and I could not stop laughing during the preview.
They tell you the whole fucking movie in the preview.
I don't even give a shit about that. It just looks so ridiculous. I was laughing so hard. I was like, no, this would be a fun time.
Yeah.
You know? Get a pack of gummy worms and come in here and get wild.
What are we talking about?
Get wild for Vin Diesel.
What are we talking about?
There's a
Diesel.
a newer one of his that's out that Rachel and I watched the trailer and we were laughing so hard at it that we were like, oh man, we need to go see that. It just looks like, and I mean like poking fun at. I can't remember the damn name of it.
Yeah,
it just looks so stupid.
It's his latest movie.
Listen, I'll watch anything.
It's a
I'll watch
comic
anything
book
with Vin
movie.
Diesel.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
That's your
Oh, I
thing?
fucking love Vin.
Yeah, it was.
I love Vin Diesel. It's great.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is real.
It is. He loves Vin Diesel.
Yeah, Vin Diesel.
Like
seriously.
The last Triple X movie had that kind of 90s feel to it for sure.
Yeah, I watched it. It wasn't great. It was, it was okay. I know that what you said is based off a comic book. I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because it was going to be released in theaters when the fucking Corona shit happened.
Yeah.
So they released it online. I plan on watching that. No, I think Vin Diesel's a good action star.
Yeah.
No, I mean you're probably right. Once again,
action.
guys, I don't. I enjoy having this conversation because it makes me remember a bunch of movies that I really enjoyed as a kid. Action, it just kind of, I don't know. It just stopped intriguing me a lot. Like in like my late teens, early 20s and stuff. I just kind of lost interest in it. I sort of felt all of them were just kind of the same thing. I didn't really care for any of the actors that were up and coming or anything like that. So I just kind of got out of it. But
I think people. Oh, and that movie's Bloodshot, by the way.
Yeah, there you go.
Vin Diesel. But I think nowadays it's like people have seen so much shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to do an action movie that keeps people's attention. That's why John Wick has done so well, because it's so well choreographed. It's so brutal. And honestly, Keanu has he just has that kind of brooding presence of like, yeah, this guy's a fucking killer. He's a badass, and you can tell, like, it has a certain tone, and I think it's just hard to do that now. It's hard to make an action movie because everybody's seen so much now.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean that is fair to point out because had it not been for you, I never would have watched John Wick. I mean, period. It was the last thing on my fucking radar. I fucking hated Keanu Reeves, and I mean, to be completely honest with you, I mean, aside from John Wick and stuff that I watched with him as a kid, I still don't really necessarily care for him.
You're not going to see the new Bill and Ted?
Oh, I'll watch that because Bill and Ted was something that I liked when I was a kid.
In the Matrix 4 when it comes out?
Nope, have absolutely no interest.
Matrix, none at all, really.
Matrix is like, I think, one of the most absolutely just overpraised fucking franchises. I really do not like those movies. But once again, that's just me. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not crazy about them, but I like the first one.
Yeah, the first one was good, though.
So your attitude about John Wick, our buddy Todd had the same attitude. And I had told him, I was like, one night we were hanging out, I was like, dude, there's this movie, John Wick. He's like, I'm telling you, it's amazing. It's amazing. He's like, nah, man, I'm not.
It's Keanu.
He's shit. He's terrible. He's terrible. He's shit. I even had the date. This was April 2nd at 10:58 p.m.
You still have the message.
I get a text. Yeah, that's right. Because me and Todd barely ever talk on text. This shows up. It goes, okay, so watching John Wick for the first time. Pretty awesome. I say, badass. He goes, yes, I am going through transformation. I send back, haha. He goes, a little while later, he goes, okay, man, you right. I'm enthralled. I said, action only gets better. Third one is insane. He says, I'm getting a hard on. And I send the laughing emoji with the tears. And then he wants to clarify. He says, movie hard on. Nothing gay. Yeah, I'm not doing anything gay. It's a movie hard on.
Wow. Okay.
There you go, John Wick. It transforms people. It'll transform you.
Yeah, it's good. But I mean, to be honest with you, he kind of snuck in the puppy thing, I'm a puppy guy, and number one, I'm a puppy guy. Number two, beagles are like, they hit me. You know what I mean?
Saying he baited you in with the dog.
He baited me in with the dog, because if I had a dog, and someone killed that fucking thing, you better believe. Now I couldn't be as badass as
you
John
would
Wick.
Kill at least 100 Russians.
You're goddamn right. I would at least try.
He would have become the Baba Yaga.
It might end with me picking up the puppy carcass and throwing it at them, but whatever I got to do at the time.
Just crying.
Dude, so
the puppy.
So my coworker was explaining to me today, his name is James. He's roughly around 50, 55, something like that. I don't know why it's really important to say his age, but to me it just kind of affected the story.
Go ahead and give us a address too while you're at it.
No, it was. I think it's applicable here. I think
he's more seasoned.
I think it's important. Yes, I think that's a good term for it there. So he was saying, and this is exactly how he comes straight out the gates with it. Yeah, so I was on my way, pulling out of the driveway this morning, and I ran over 2 baby kittens.
Damn.
And the way he's saying it, I'm laughing, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, no, he's fucking serious. And I was like, damn, dude, like, what'd you do? He's like, I wasn't gonna be late for work. He's like, they were dying. He's like, and I was like, fuck, man. I was like,
they were dying?
Yeah.
Oh,
so I wanted him to clarify, like, dying, not dead. And he was like, they were on their way to death. There's nothing I could have done.
Oh.
And I was like, holy shit, man. And I was like, work would just have to fire me. Like I would be like, I'm going to bring him to a vet or something.
Or finish the job.
Forgive me, but yes. You know what I mean? Instead of leaving them there suffering.
Right, yeah.
They They probably died pretty quick. Listen, I have a lot of experience in this.
Oh, we know.
You run over some, it dies pretty quick.
You better just leave. Just get out of here.
Just get out of there, man. Just
Oh my
get
God.
out. Just get out as quick as you can.
That's hysterical.
Okay, if I'm like taking it to the doctor, it's gonna be a child. Like it's gonna be yeah. Otherwise, I gotta go.
I just can't.
Hey, that one time I was going about 50 miles an hour. This deer launched itself into the road and slammed into the side of my car and completely took out my side mirror and crushed my whole door in to where my door wouldn't open. It was $3,000 in repairs.
Shoo.
But after it happened and I pulled over for a second and I was just screaming mad. And I literally got in my car and I turned around and I said, if it's not dead, I'm going to fucking beat it to death. I'm going to beat this fucking deer to death with my bare hands.
And
I went around. I already tenderized it. I'm going to finish it off. I looked for it. It must have staggered off into the woods. I don't know, but I wanted to fucking finish it off. Not for mercy, but just for my own satisfaction.
I think this is something that people in our area could probably laugh at a little bit more than other places in the world. They run rampant.
They're a plague.
They just, it's almost like a game they play. Like,
I see them almost every day. Yeah. They're in the way.
I used to laugh all the time, with Rachel whenever we first started dating and stuff. Like, yeah, let's go up to the, Cade's Cove and drive around. I'm like, you want to see fucking deer? I'll bring it. We can just go up there and sit in front of this dude's house and they'll be fucking walking around. Get out your camera.
They're like fucking rats out here, man. Like a giant mousetrap. Like, it's like 6 feet wide, Put some like acorns on the end or something.
Yeah.
Have that bar come over and slam down on them.
Now here's an idea. Instead of what do you call it at the front of a train, like a cow
catcher? Is
that what they're called?
Yeah.
Where they like scoop it. Yeah. On our cars in this area, they should come. Every dealer just has them. Like, oh, you leave the lot with one of these.
It's an add-on.
Yeah.
It's like getting, like you get the little rain catcher thing along your window.
Yeah.
It's like it's an add-on.
There you go.
Yeah, I want one.
You guys want any new movies lately? I'm trying to look in the background here to see Nathan's collection.
Well, I think both of you guys got these. I did get I didn't go all out, but this year.
Have you watched Blood Games?
No, not yet.
Oh, it's great.
Awesome. Easily one of the best Vinegar Syndrome releases.
Oh, cool.
It's amazing.
That's great. I got this Criterion collection of the Samurai trilogy. That's Toshiro Mifune playing Miyamoto Musashi. Haven't watched these yet, but I've heard they're awesome. So really looking forward to getting back into some samurai action.
Nathan, it's not called the it's not called the Violence trilogy. It's called the Vengeance trilogy.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It just popped in my head. Did we figure that out earlier?
I've seen those movies. Yeah.
Okay.
Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. Lady Vengeance, maybe. There's one called Lady Vengeance. I think there's one called Lady Vengeance, and then I've seen those movies.
It's really not bad. Like the prices on eBay. I mean, we're right around like anywhere between like $80 and $100. I mean, I think for a three movie set, that's not that bad.
Yeah, those movies are fucking brutal, man. Very dark, very violent. There's like a lot about poverty, like selling organs to get by kind of shit.
Right.
really
dark stuff.
What about you, Patrick? It looked like you were starting to show.
Yeah, I was. I got Raw Force, which I think I already showed you guys before, but
did you watch it?
I fell asleep in it, so I got to go back and do that. Got Rad, of course.
Mhm.
My box isn't
So,
damaged for those vinegar syndrome people. Yeah.
there you go. Have you seen? I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to interrupt what you're doing there, but have you seen the prices? Because it
Yes.
is officially sold out.
Yes.
12,000 copies gone.
Yeah. They were like up
You,
to like
you've seen the
350 or 250 range.
well, the consistent range that I've been seeing them on eBay, just because I'm a nerd like that and I like to
Yeah.
keep up with it. About like 100
Yeah.
easily. And that's the thing, is like everybody was kind of talking about, like, well, if they're all scuffed, then it doesn't bring the market down, which is true. I mean, a lot of these that people are buying are ones that have gotten damaged.
Yeah.
So I'd say if you have one that's like
Mine's,
unblemished,
it's not scuffed or anything.
yeah, because it would be on the purple side. That's the one that everybody, I've got a few scuffs on mine. I just don't give a shit because I don't sell mine.
Oh, no. Yeah. Mine's not. So cool with that.
Nice.
Of course, got LA Wars 2.
That's going to be the next one I watch, actually. I'm really excited.
Yeah, mine's the 1,496.
Mhm.
Of course, Nathan got Hell Riders. I got that too.
Yeah, same.
Night Train to Terror with a
Have
slip.
you watched it yet?
No, I haven't watched it yet. I've seen somebody found like a VHS copy of it. I thought that was pretty cool.
Mhm.
Punk Vacation. Got that.
Punk Vacation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, Blood Games got that as well.
Yeah, dude, I cannot praise that movie enough. That's one I think we should watch as a channel review.
Okay. Cool.
Just because it's just, like Nathan, I don't know if you recall last time we were doing one of these, I was kind of saying, when we did that one with Brandon, what did we watch again?
Nail Gun Massacre.
Nail Gun Massacre.
Mhm.
Like I am with some of them, it's almost like whenever we're doing the reviews, and I blame myself for it, but I kind of sometimes am finding like I'm at a loss of things to talk about, because it's like, okay, it's another slasher, blah blah. But I really do love them so much that I like the experience of watching them with you guys. Maybe not everyone should be a review,
Yeah.
but I think Blood Games is just really fun, and I think it has like a few different kind of aspects to it that differentiate it just enough to where we could have a conversation.
Oh, there's a lot of aspects to it. A lot of ass.
Yeah. It's definitely it's definitely one of those they just don't make them like they used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a female director actually did this one.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Feminist movie. There you go.
Got Dolly Dearest.
That one, I liked that one a lot more than other people are talking about, but I'm a sucker for killer doll movies.
Yeah, I haven't finished that one yet. And then Deadline.
One of the best ones I've seen in a while.
Is that the Canadian one?
Mm-hmm. It's amazing, dude. It's so cool.
And then I got Beyond the Door 3.
Still haven't watched it yet. Yeah.
And I watched Party Line. This was crazy.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. Nathan, I don't know if you recall, but I almost bought that one whenever James was here with Vinegar Syndrome at Central Cinema.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, man, that movie's fucking boring.
No.
I got it because I'm a completionist. I mean, I want to get all their stuff. And all the horror and exploitation titles. I don't really have any interest in all
there's
that
some
one.
funny shit in that one.
It's got fucking Leif Garrett. If you would have told me there that Leif Garrett was in it, I'd be like, yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna buy it. But yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll probably be doing sometime this week if I can. I really just need half an hour that I can sit down and do my unboxing video of all the stuff because I got a pretty big haul between the stuff that I ordered during the sale and the few that I ordered like from other outlets and stuff like that in that time frame. And I've got like around 42 titles that I got pretty quickly there. So
serious haul.
It was a big one. But so many of those I've been sitting on. Like their first release, at least the one stamped issue number 1 was Lost Films of Herschel Gordon Lewis. It's like 3 old pornography films and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I figured since I've got all his other stuff, I might as well.
I was envious of that, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't popped it on yet, but yeah, I got that one. One of the ones I'm most excited about is Murder Weapon, I think is what it's called. It's got Linnea Quigley and the guy from Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I am definitely excited about watching that one. Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, I think where the fuck did Patrick go?
I'm putting my movies back up. It's processed.
I could tell you guys. I think my next pick, a movie I want, the next movie I want to bring, because I want to keep bringing different kind of titles. The next movie is going to be this one right here, A Boy and His Dog.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it? I've been wanting to buy that one. I didn't know they did a Blu-ray. That's awesome.
I got this a long time ago. I've watched this already. This is this is an awesome movie. Yeah, we'll watch next time I pick. If we're together, we'll watch this. Yeah. I think next week is going to be Brian's pick, though.
Yeah, that one sells for quite a bit.
Something next week.
Yeah. I mean, the goal is always to make one of these happen. I hope I can, but if not, I'll just let you guys know ahead of time. Yeah, I mean, I think with getting on, trying to do like different types of films, there's so many of those, which I'm not saying I'm going to bombard everyone with these, but there's some of those like really off the beaten path Harmony Korine movies that I've kind of wanted to do, like Not Gummo and stuff that everyone's seen already, but like Julian Donkey Boy and Mr. Lonely and some of that stuff. I think I might start popping some of those out because those are definitely some of my favorite movies and totally worthy of discussion. It didn't really feel proper to bring them out back when we were really just doing only horror movies. You know what I mean? I felt like it kind of would have been way too out of left field. But it'd be nice to talk about some of those. So I'll probably be
no, I think we ought to expand a little bit. I say my other choice is the other one I'm gonna do is the every time I try to say this, I have to think about it. Female prisoner scorpion. First one is female prisoner 701 colon scorpion. So that first movie is the one that we need to watch. It's really good. So
heck yeah. I did get so Jason down at the dungeon. I just gave this one to me in advance and let me pay for it later. I still unfortunately haven't got around to watching it, but I've been really, really, really diving into a lot of like Italian horror more so than I have before. And there's a movie I'd never even heard of. It's called Wax Mask, and it's I can't remember the director's name right offhand, but it's a Dario Argento movie that he was co-writing with Lucio Fulci. And Fulci died like kind of in pre-production, but he wrote some of it. And anyway, I'm super excited about it. I was like, holy fuck. It was a Severin release, I believe. So we put that one out.
Yeah, it sounds awesome, man. All right. Are we ready to close it out here? Fellas?
Oh, yeah. I'm just kind of chit-chatting at this point. Yeah.
Cool.
I've had a lot of fun. I'm glad we could get together, even if it was just online. It was awesome, guys.
Oh, absolutely. I miss you guys, and hopefully we'll get all this house shit squared away soon. So next 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 3 to 4 weeks at the most. So
gotcha.
All right, my friends.
Hopefully we'll have something next week for everybody.
Yeah. Let's try for it. I'll be thinking about what I want to watch, and I'll obviously I have to make sure it's something that we can view online if we're not going to be able to do it together, but we'll get it sorted out.
Cool.
All right.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.
See ya.